Shunned TV shows, refusing to mime for the cameras. In 1979, they made a rare appearance on All Right Now, which was presented by former Dart spaceman Den Hegarty.
We've got you all over here, not a green hair in sight, except up your noses. How do you feel about being called a punk band?
We like it. We like it. I mean, it's better than being called a new wave group.
What's the difference?
Well, new wave people wear thin ties.
Gasp! Would you rather be called a rock and roll band than a new wave band or a punk band?
Yes, without a doubt, I agree. But it's all to do with the style of the hair.
That's what I find.
Mick, do you now feel like you've become like the #1 punk band in England since the Pistols have called it? Like you've got that focal point?
Yeah, maybe. Possibly. But I always thought...
What do you mean possibly?
I always thought we were #1.
You thought you were the best all the time again?
Well, yeah, most of the time. Except when I was depressed.
What are you trying to do?
What made you depressed?
Who cares?
Not being #1.
All right, you lot, what made you come on this programme as opposed to any other that you've not been on so far?
You can just plug in and play like you do on a gig, you know? It's no miming, you just plug in and play, you know?
Johnny come marching home again, hurrah, hurrah. He's coming by bus or underground, hurrah. Woe as I would shed a tear, see his face, beaten and fell, rolling around, cornering the civil war. Still like the states of clubs and victims. the lights are round. Yes, yes, TV's a song. Yes, yes, my chance to live. Yes, yes, my chance to give now. Never see one night I was alone, just singing on the same old house. Got a singer and no girl to take me out on a blind date. I listen on the radio, I listen on the phone, I listen through your job. I listen, it's enough. I turn it up and I turn it up. I turn it up, I turn it up. I turn it up, I turn it up. Just gonna tune up so it sounds like the record. Who wants it to sound like the record? Me neither. That's alright. Just look out. Look. Well, I'm carried back. I'm from Garageland. Watch it. Don't drop it. Bring it up! Back! Question player! What am I about? Back in the garage! Five-gun player! One guitar! Back in the garage! Go play, go play! What are our back? Back in the garage. Back in the garage. Back in the garage. Oh, nah. And I wanna move the town to the Glass City Rockers. I need a little jump of electrical shocker. Better leave town if you only wanna knock us. Nothing stand the pressure of a Glass City Rocker. See the rhythm come down the escalator. Now listen to the Jeep train accelerator. Then you realize that you gotta have a purpose, but it's gonna knock you out sooner or later. So don't complain. But you should say take it in. Forever tonight. Oh, shut your mouth. Come on. The money you got. And I wanna look and buy everybody gone dry. Plug it to the arrow and plug it to the sky. Burn down the suburb, have blue skies. You won't succeed. Listen, try. So don't complain. That's just you can forever tonight. Oh, shut your mouth. So you enjoy the color. The money you got. Yeah, yeah. Move the town to the Glass City Rockers. With a little chunk, let's take a shower. Better leave town if you only wanna knock us. Nothing stand up pressure on the Glass City Rockers. You owe me a move, say the bells don't say good. Come on and show me, say the bells of my road. When I have been, the bells are going it's the one but you and I say the bells of Princeburg. No one but you and I say bells of Princeburg. Now move the town to the Glass City Rockers. Give your little jump on the leg to the shadow. Better leave down if you only wanna knock us. Nothing standing pressure on the Glass City Rockers.
At the present time, there's a general feeling that young people are
You know, I don't think that change would come, really.
So, are these changes going to come? In the studio, we've got The Clash and Joan Lester, MP for Eton and Slough and chairman of the Labour Party. Do MPs realise the animosity that is felt about them by many young people?
I wouldn't have called an animosity. I would have called the few people that were interviewed certainly disillusioned and rather disinterested in the political scene. I think that's true, yes.
Joe, do you reckon the feelings that are put across by those people that accurately represent all the people, young people?
Well, I think most of the young people, just because it's so remote from the mechanics of government, you don't feel part of it, like you can affect it or change it in any way. You just...
How have you tried?
Well, you learn in school about how it works, right? Or at least I did.
Yeah.
Right? I said I've forgotten. But anyway, I learned once how it works.
Yeah.
And you just think it's so boring. It just doesn't interest you. Like you stand up for Parliament and people get elected and all the parties look the same and it just seems like a big mess and you just feel like, oh, I don't want to do this. I'd rather go and hear a good record, you know.
Paul, do you see any changes coming in the future?
What, political changes?
Yeah.
Yeah, I can see things getting much worse than they are. I mean, like, generally you've got the fascists on one side, rising, and, well, you've got sort of a Communist Party, which nothing much seems to be happening, except sort of combating fascism. But I mean, like, basically, I don't sort of, like, trust any party, but all the same, I still believe that kids should vote, you know. I mean, there's one better than the other, of course, but I mean, they're just as bad as each other. That's what I feel.
Yeah.
Could I just ask you something? You said that the fascists are on the increasing, and that presumably worries you, as it would worry me if I thought that were true.
Yeah.
But what would you do about that? Because it's a worrying thing if it's true.
Well, I can't really see sort of like much of a solution, but I mean, like, what we're doing as a group, in fact, is like, you know, like playing reggae on stage, like black music, which we like, and like, if people don't like it, you know, I mean, like, they won't go to our concerts, but generally people do. It's just like, you know, like provoking an interest, you know.
So that you think by doing this, which I think is, you know, I think is quite interesting, that this might have an effect. That in fact it might.
Sure.
Yeah. So that, and then what some politicians are doing in relation to the National Front, few politicians that oppose it, attacking racialism, and that is likely to have an effect. So to be gloomy and say, well, you think the National Front are going to increase, they'll only increase if people like you and me and others don't have a go at them.
Yeah,
and
sure,
so
but
that we
I mean,
don't
like,
need to be pessimistic. Then,
yeah, but by putting something down, it always sort of like increases an interest in it,
makes it stronger.
and it makes it stronger.
Well, I wonder if it does. You know, you see, I don't think they did so well in Ilford North when you consider all the fuss and bother.
I mean, they got almost exactly the same as the Liberals.
Yes, well, the Liberals did very badly, though. That's the point. Nobody's saying the Liberals did well. And when you consider that, as you say, they get a lot of publicity, the NF, far more than they merit. I don't think that they did do particularly well in Ilford, but I think I think you're absolutely right. One's got to have a go at them, and that's why I'm not as pessimistic as I think.
Well, I think more
many
than just
people
have
are.
a go at them, sort of like go full out, you know.
Yeah.
I mean,
Why does anyone think National Front have come through at the moment?
Because of the other parties.
Yeah.
Like everyone, nobody, particularly likes Liberals, Conservatives, Labour. So they think National Front are the only ones left to go for.
Right.
So I think,
but what about the National Front that you think people like? Because most people don't like the National Front. So
yeah, well, there was this some bloke from Ilford, right? He said he'd changed from Conservative because he'd fought in the war.
Yeah.
For the kids
Against
to have
fascism.
jobs and everything. Yeah. And I mean, it's crazy. Like, their leader of the National Front, he idolises Hitler.
That's right.
And he's kind of fought in the war against fascism.
That's right, yeah. Well, if you can see that, I mean, don't you think that a lot of other people can see that too? I mean, it's an obvious one, as you
I
say.
suppose some people are thicker than me.
Yeah, that's true. Some people are thicker than you, but
politics works on in 10 years and 15 years and 20 years in amounts of time like that, and young people, you say 10 years to a young person, you might as well say eternity. It's just 10 years is too long for him to think about. He's thinking about what he's going to wear tonight or next week, or whether he can go out with that girl, or you know what I mean. He's thinking in terms of half an hour. Has he got half an hour before he's got to go to work? And politicians deal in in 10 years we'll build a flats there, and it's just too long, and young people just feel they can't get into it.
So what do you think young people are going to do in years to come?
Get old.
that's true.
Yeah.
That's true.
But, you know, do you think it's going to be a total disinterest in politics in the future?
I don't know, maybe I'll grow up to be Prime Minister.
Who knows?
But of course, it's not only young people that want to see things happen quickly. I mean, you know, most people want to see things happen quickly, and people that have been waiting years for a house, who are much older than you, probably share your disillusionment and your disappointment. But I mean, the argument that politicians are having on this, and that is taking place now, if that's what you mean, is you know, we have certain problems in the country which are not certainly not of our making in terms of a recession. And what has to take priority?
So,
now, some things take greater priority than others. But of course, the country isn't managed as well as you'd like it to be. Sorry.
What can you put forward in place of what we have at the present time?
I don't know. I reckon if you got all the people who own the factories and you know the ones who own it and take a large salary with a Rolls Royce, I reckon if you got rid of them somehow, put them in a camp or something, and then the factories could go on working, and you'd save a lot of money, because the workers are doing the work. Right. And the same with the government. I mean, you've got a civil service all set up, and everything runs smoothly, and it's the government ministers who make the decisions. But I think if you took them all away, I don't think anybody would hardly notice.
I'd like to say thank you to Joan Lester and The Clash, who you'll be seeing later on in the programme.
Cool, anything's better than that, isn't it?
And you think you're going to go straight after you've done it?
Trigger of the Thompson gun, Johnny gun. We take a half like gun out, everyone. I can see his kill, oh he kill. Nation on the living, gotta be fulfilled. Whatever you want, you're gonna get. That's already. Johnny gun, you can be a hero, age or none. Johnny gun, carrying out some big shots. One. Gonna get a jacket just like yours. Give it full support. See how it goes. Never keep one. You're gonna get a ball. lot of people won't get no supper tonight. A lot of people won't get no justice tonight. Remember, who will guide you? One will guide you through Armagideon's people running and hiding tonight. A lot of people jumping and hiding tonight. So remember to kick it over. One will guide you through Armagideon time.
Clash started at the same time as the Sex Pistols, but they've survived, making new music but exploring and incorporating other types of music, like reggae.
Instead of using a hammer, you know, we're trying to be a bit more subtle with it. You know, first we'd go to hit you right on the middle of the head with it.
Yeah, we're behind
100
you.
times, right? But now we like to just a few strokes of the hammer here and there, you know, is more powerful than.
Police at the ears and the street. Oh yeah, scaring the nation with guns and ammunition. From genocide to revelation, the next generation will be me. From genocide to revelation. You read in the Bible, page number 1, that's Genesis to Revelation. Now what generation can you tell me? I did not know, I was not afraid. That's outside. Goes on and on. On and on and on. Here goes, here goes. Here goes, here goes.
And we do the same thing all the time. This is the question. No. Because then you're just dead. You know, you do the same thing. And who wants to know? After a while, you know, it makes people sick in the head to do that. So we have to always try new things, you know. And like everyone's a load of sort of like sheep, you know, going, "Nee, it's horrible. Nee, it's nice," you know. But they don't fucking know. You know, only we know what we're doing, and like, obviously we think it's for the best. Anyway, we can play we can handle it better now. So we don't disguise that. We try and play as good as we can now. Obviously, we spent 4 years playing now, non-stop. Obviously, we must be 4 times better than them. Otherwise, we'd be pretty much like idiots, huh?
Shut up, will you, stupid cunt?
Oh, thanks very much about that.
Yeah, that's what you deserve with that sort of crap. What do you think we are? Do you think this is 1976 and you're talking to the Sex Pistols? Piss off or I'll fucking piss all over you. If he feels like throwing up, it's because his stomach hurts. I don't need your jokes to fucking contend with. If you haven't got something serious to say, piss off.
Well, it's serious.
Well, you tell me. How about life and death? Never mind who pukes on stinking carpets.
Well,
we don't all come here just to joke about with stupid... Leave him, man, leave him. Perhaps he's got an idea in his head. But if you want to talk about puking, go home and read your teeny bop magazines. We are not a teeny bop puking group.
The dance keeps going all night long till the morning sun begins to shine.
stain on the pavement, scrub it off the ground. And the crowd dispersed and no one said that much. Somebody got burned and that's me when the touch.
Would you like to interview our manager while he's here?
Catch him while he's hot.
Bernie.
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 Oh, leave him. Let him sit.
Sorry, that's Bernie Rose.
Sorry about that. Come back.
He invented punk. It's obviously too much for him.
Es war schon sehr früh am Morgen und da haben ja Männer, wenn sie gut aufgeregt sind, die unstillbare Sehnsucht zu singen. Gleichgültig, ob sie es können oder nicht. Und es ist ganz ausgeschlossen gewesen, ein Lied oder eine Strophe eines Liedes zu Ende zu singen, weil ja jeder von uns immer nur höchstens 2 Sätze gekannt hat. Und es hat sich herausgestellt, dass es ein einziges Lied gab, das wir alle in mindestens 3 Strophen singen konnten.
No worries declared, the battle come down. London calling, the underworld, come out of the cupboard, boys and girls. London calling, they don't let you ask, only little mania, stood in the dust. London calling, think of no surprise, but for that one, we will die. I see, run to the end, help down, keep going. I have no fear, London is drowning, and I live by the river. London calling, protection door, get a brother, we can go alone. London calling, songs of death, quit holding out, draw another breath. London calling, and I don't want to shout while we were talking. Saw you not now. London calling, we ain't got no high, except for the one yellow eye. Run to the lane, fell down, keep going clean to the error. I have no fear, London is burning, and I live by the river. Yes, I was there too. No one they said. Some of it was true. London's calling. Top of the dial. After all this, won't you give me a smile? London's calling. London's calling. Never felt so much alive. You rode. Well, just got back. Where'd you go? Marching around at the airport. Where'd you go? Man, I look down. Where'd you go? Johnny on the corner, very sympathetic. Where'd you go? I went to the place where every white face is the pushing to robbery. Sitting here, I say you can be at home. The one who back in, wasn't I lucky? Who's the lucky lover? Where'd you go? Send the toll cards up a little bit on the where'd you go? Different 2 weeks, so where'd you go? That's he said, Sheraton Hotel. Where'd you go? Went to the place where every wild face is robbery. Sitting here, say you'll be at home. Don't wanna go back there again. They got the wings, they got the bombs. Where'd you go? They got the seeds, they got the roots. Where'd you go? Harder to come. Where'd you go? Say you'll be to it, but I can't take the gauntlet. Where'd you go? And I went to the place where every white face is robbery. Sitting here, I say you'll be at home. Wanna go back to? No. Really come from Jamaica. Get me out. Really come from Jamaica. Really get me out. Really come from Jamaica. Come